When you really want to manage change or the direction of your company, of your management team, of your operation, there is not just the distinction of what are we going to improve. No, there's actually 4 quadrants that you really need to pay attention to. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we make operational excellence practical. And today we will be discussing the quadrants of change, which is sort of an adoption to the wheel of change that we know more from personal coaching, Marshall Goldsmith, but then for companies, for teams, and it's a great tool for a management meeting or like a team day, a discussion on what would we like to change within our team, within our company. And if you've ever been to one of them, you know that there are so many things everybody wants to change. In fact, too many things. Now, luckily, some people also call that out and say, well, we can't change everything, and there's a couple of things we really need to also keep and stuff like that. That is exactly what we will be talking about today. So when we think of your company purely strategical, this can be used. Although, honestly, specifically for that, if we're talking more sort of a technical or a market strategy, I would recommend looking more towards a full SWOT analysis. This is not a derivative of SWOT analysis, but you will see that the sort of strength-weakness idea comes in, and then the opportunities, threats are totally not looked at. So do a good SWOT analysis. I have an older video talking about that, just writing down strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. That is not the whole SWOT analysis. So if you want to make it really about company strategy, where do we want to take our product range, our services, this is not the best tool. But there are so many things in an organization that are more on a how do we interact with each other, what is our cultural approach, how do we treat training and education, for instance, or what are we doing very well in steering our production, steering our operations, all kinds of things in that way, right? So think a bit more on organizational, think a little bit more on where the subjective opinion of your co-workers, of people around you, people in the team basically, is really important as well. It's not so much data-driven. This is more a good way to frame the discussion, and then you can use it to also force priority thinking and to sort of force the making of decisions. So this is a really nice tool that I happily use during a team building exercise, a management day, something like that. Now, what am I talking about? The change quadrants. We have sort of 2 axes here, and together they will form the 4 quadrants. The first thing we look at is what in our organization or team or operations is going really well, and what is, going not too well. Now, usually you do compare this sort of to the market, right? Sort of to what would be normal. But the good thing here is because it is so flexible, you can sort of put this good, poor, good, bad thing on several different criterions depending on what type of group you are facilitating. Now, when we look at this, we're thinking about what are sort of in that idea of the SWOT analysis, what are strong points? What is, if we're talking retention, keeping our people here? What is developing our people here? What is our team or our entire company doing particularly well when it comes to keeping and training and delighting basically our own employees, as an example, right? And what is our team not that good at, right? What are we doing poorly? Are we maybe not promoting people inside? Are we not really giving the time to train, even though formally you get a training budget, stuff like that. So basically, what are the good things, the strengths, what are the poor things, weak, bad? And I would definitely also advise you to start with this discussion. Right? The easier way to do this is actually to get yourself a bunch of Post-its and just put the ideas there. First, you categorize them in what is good, what is poor. But then the real discussion thinking comes in. Because what are we going to change? And what are we going to keep? And you might think, keeping a poor thing, that's bit folly, isn't it? No, this is also a resource question. As you very well know, changing stuff takes time, takes resources, attention. You need to really do it correctly, right? You need to implement that in a good way. Some things to change, they require investments, they require a complete overhaul. So many things you do not want to change. Now, when we just listed the good and the bad of our team, our operations, our company, now we get this choice. Where are we moving them? And you can sort of do the good things first and then the poor things or whatever you like, but don't suddenly start mixing them, right? You had the discussion already. Is this a strength of our team or is this a weakness of our team when we compare it to what is sort of normal expectations in the market, in the rest of the company, and how we feel about it? That does not change. So it can only go into, for good things, the top quadrants, or for bad things, the bottom quadrants. Now, what is this? When you change a good thing, you sort of double down on it, right? You strengthen it. But when you keep a good thing, basically what you're saying is, we don't have to improve on it even more. It's already given us a lot of satisfaction right now, but we should be careful not to lose that very good aspect of our team or our organization. And so this is really the keep part. This is something you need to defend, right? You also can be proud of it, absolutely, but make sure you don't lose it. Now, changing something that is poor, this I would say is classical improvement, right? We are taking losses, especially you probably if you're watching this channel, you're taking losses, analyzing them, what are the biggest ones, let's change them for the better, let's improve. So that's also what you do here. And then that one. It's a poor thing. We're actually worse than most other teams, or it's something that we know is bugging us. We know it's hindering our work, our efficiency, whatever. It's creating losses. But we're going to keep it. And we're going to do that as a decision right now. So we know we would like to change it. But we, in this meeting, in this discussion, all agree it's just not realistic to change it right now. We have got other stuff to work on. If you have other stuff to work on, okay, but then let's make that decision to accept it. For now, I mean, this can change in a quarter, in a year, in whenever you're sort of done with that. But for now, we all accept that the IT system we have is just really hindering us in our work. We accept that we're working with a very poor wastewater plant that constantly floods something in our terrain. We accept that we'll have to keep using Excel for some of our core analysis tools and maybe even some MES applications right now. Because of reasons, but very importantly, in your discussion, you make the distinction. There is no, we still have to decide, right? If you still have to decide, it wasn't even one of your main points. So what do you do if you want to facilitate a team meeting, especially a management direction team meeting? This is very useful also for company culture type of things, right? So what specific, not communication is never good or bad. What specifically in the way we communicate is a good or a bad point? What should we strengthen because we can even get more of it? What should we at least keep, defend, that we don't lose it? What should we accept for now? What should we really improve from the poor level it is at right now in communication and with cooperation between departments, stuff like that? This comes up a lot to force the decision, but also just in the working of our operation. So you set those. Now, as sort of a guideline, up until now, it really was basically do it like this, right? This second point is more of a guideline. Have only one thing here, maximum. 1 to 2 things there. 1 to 2 things there. And probably 2 things here. Probably, right? Again, this is not a hard and fast rule, but if you sort of want to force that people work through it, give them some numbers. Because the natural way the discussion will go is, let's put everything on this side. No, force that people also decide on what not to touch. That'll strengthen the discussion. If in the end you end up with 2 here and 1 there, but everybody agrees on it and you get a good vibe out of it and action springs up, wonderful, right? Really no problem. But when you feel that the discussion is sort of going nowhere and they want to improve everything, force it in a little bit. But that's a secondary thing. The main message, if you want to have a constructive discussion with your team, with a management team, if you want to facilitate any discussion, especially about slightly more, let's say, intercollegial communication, cooperation type of things, your softer systems, then absolutely, but even just for priorities on the operation, go and have the discussion where you force yourself with the team to split things, to decide what are actually very good and very poor things that we're doing right now. And then that priority, which are we going to change? Good thing to strengthen, some bad things to improve, but also what are we going to keep? So defend a couple of good things and especially accept a couple of poor things for now. Now, I hope that really gave you a great tool. I love this tool for management team facilitation. I've done this tool, by the way, recently with over 50 people. Yeah, we did split them up in groups, but it really tied the discussion together. And in the end, they presented this also in the different groups. It all came together and they formed a strong consensus. It's a really strong tool to quickly prioritize and get the key messages from what a group sort of knows happens. So I hope that this gave you also now that tool to use in your next facilitations, your team meetings, your management meetings. If it did, maybe even if it didn't, did you like it? But if it did, definitely push that like button. Let me know how it works out. Let me know in the comments. And if you're looking for some other tips or tools more in this management discussion sphere, also let me know what you're sort of struggling with. I'll be happily sharing my thoughts on that. For now, I wish you the best of luck in your management discussions. And as always, don't forget to also enjoy the continuous improvement journey.